The Everything Sequel podcast is brought to you by us. Not us the movie, us, Mike and Tom of the Everything Sequel podcast. The Everything Sequel podcast contains explicit language. 'Cause we learned it from you, Dad. Hello and welcome to the Everything Sequel podcast. This is a Magnificent 7 edition. Today, we're ranking the sequels I'm not sure I knew existed for the Magnificent 7. My name is Michael Shantz of the How Dare You Awards. Joining me, the ranking master himself, Tom Stewart of Lonesome Whistle Productions. Say hi, Tom.
I never thought I'd come back.
As any great impressionist will tell you, each impersonation is a composite of two other impersonations.
Yeah. What are yours?
And your Brynner is a combination of Charles Bronson, who is of course one of the original 7. This ain't over. And George Takei. Are you kidding me?
Oh, yeah.
And you put those together and you get, I never thought they'd come back. And I wanted to start with that line because I love that it's as much a surprise to Yul Brynner that he's the star of the Return of the Magnificent 7,
right,
as it is to the audience watching it, because this really isn't a time in sequel history where stars were expected to return for the sequel.
Clearly.
But he did, and not these movies that we're about to do overlap almost exactly with the
Apes,
Planet of the Apes sequels.
Yeah.
And if you remember, it was a huge deal that Charlton Heston came back for what amounted to a glorified cameo in Beneath the Planet of the Apes, where he said, I'll do one scene, and they were like, can you do half a scene at the beginning, half a scene at the end? He was like, yeah, sure, whatever. And
otherwise, we got Pepsi stepping in.
Otherwise, we got James Franciscus, Pepsi Charlton Heston to fill in. But Yul Brynner, at least for the first of these movies, is the actual star. Like, he's actually doing the work of a lead.
Well, and I have a theory that he wanted to come back just so that he could come back and not have to deal with Steve McQueen being an asshole.
Well, he gets that. I guess
that's the story I heard, was that the filming of The Magnificent 7 was almost unbearable for him because Steve McQueen was such an asshole.
It's a bit of a trade-off with acting alongside a charisma vacuum. In a sense, they've gone for the exact opposite of Steve McQueen.
Yeah. Both
actor and character, I'd say. Almost to the point where he's so different. By the end of Return of the Magnificent 7 / Return of the 7, that's a different conversation. How magnificent is the Return of the Magnificent 7? By the end of it, I was like, has there been a gay subtext about these two men the whole time that I've been missing, or is it just what this actor's bringing to it that wasn't there in the original? Because he say something along the lines of like, I know I said I was hunting you as bounty, but actually I just wanted to see you again.
Yeah.
I'm like,
later on
thing to just throw in.
that was just a lie. I just wanted to ride with you.
Yeah, so that's what an odd thing to say. So. But it's interesting, compare this to the only other time I think Yul Brynner has appeared in a sequel, which is Future World, the sequel to Westworld.
Yeah.
And he did exactly what Charlton Heston did in Beneath the Planet of the Apes. He agreed to be in a glorified cameo in a dream sequence in that. So,
okay.
Even he realized by this, as the film stars actually started to do the sequels, Yul Brynner opted out. He's like, I did this a few years back and it didn't work out. So, and they replaced me anyway with 2 different actors, so I'm out.
Well, when you think Yul Brynner, you always You're gonna always think about George Kennedy.
George Kennedy followed by Lee Van Cleef.
Yeah. Lee Van Cleef, I get.
First of all, that's not how aging works. You don't get younger and then get older than you were before.
Oh, so funny.
It's I mean that's the other aspect of this is they recast the lead actor every time as the same character.
Right.
I don't know if we have that many examples of that. We might have many examples of them doing it once. Twice, I can't think of any. Twice in succession, I definitely can't think of any.
Yeah, that's true.
And, you know, when, I don't know about you, but when both of those movies were over, I was like, didn't need to be Chris.
Nope.
Did not need to be Chris. This could have been, you know, Western archetype number 7, you know?
I have to admit, by the time we got to the last movie, I thought, because the last movie has this bit about a writer writing part of Chris's life, I'm like, Chris has had quite a life. Imagine surviving 4 different huge battles, like, you know, one after the other.
It's suspicious.
Yeah.
It's suspicious is what it is. If I was I like, speaking of, like, if the Western myth and folklore, by the time you get to the final movie, there should be like a, you know, some kind of legend about the man who always returns from suicide missions.
Yeah.
While everyone else dies in the team. I'm like, well, is that who would want to ride with him?
By the last one, because he's working with a criminal gang, he's like, so I'm not allowed to die, just so you know. Otherwise, you don't get your pardons. So I have to live.
That's right, yeah. Yeah, it's again, it's one of the earliest series we've done.
Mm-hmm.
May even, for at least in terms of when the original is made, probably might be the earliest we've ever done, because the original is 1960,
right?
And the first is 66. Is that right? I think the first sequel is 66. Yeah. So it's gonna be a formative series.
Sure.
Which kind of means that, you know, it's gonna set in motion a lot of the characteristics of sequels for years to come, while at the same time, you know, feeling very kind of freshman in terms of how it handles the idea of a sequel. You're gonna get both. You're gonna look back at it as we did with the Ape series and say,
well, yeah,
oh, I can see the building blocks of franchise filmmaking, but at the same time, I can also see a certain naivety about how it's done that is kind of some rough edges that are smoothed out in decades to come as to how you do sequels as they get more common and we make more of them and we understand how they work better. And I think this series does have both.
I suppose, but what struck me as I was watching these movies, because I had the same thought that you did, that they're kind of contemporary with the Planet of the Apes series.
Yeah. And
we talked at length about how different each sequel is from the other in the Apes series, and that they still stay good, and they're interesting and they're vibrant, and here, like, there are many. Before we got on,
Sheriff Lobo in them.
Yeah, exactly. We've got fucking Sheriff Lobo. But
it's so funny.
I have so much to say about him.
I know you do, and I'll hold off. But I'm gonna wait. My thoughts.
But in contrast with this series, you know, these 3 movies, different as they are, they're also the exact same movie.
Yeah.
3 times over. They all follow the same blueprints. Chris is on his own. Chris must find the team.
Yeah.
There will be lengthy discussions about the nature of what it is to go on a suicide mission and fight to the death. And then there'll be a big final scene.
Specifically with Chris, who is guaranteed to survive, and all of you, all of your lives are in danger.
So it was interesting in that way, because to me, it felt like the first example of money, like true money grabbing. Just put Magnificent Seven in the title or not. You can have just 7. But it felt like we have a product here, so let's use it. But at the same time, because these movies, at least critically, were all kind of derided as same thing, different people, which is true. But I see a little bit of care that I appreciate.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, it's. I wouldn't tar all the movies with that same brush. Even though you're right, they are. Each of them is a different reworking of the same essential concept.
Yeah.
To greater or lesser degrees of quality, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the other interesting aspect of this particular series, this particular product, as you put it. And you began the episode by saying you weren't aware that these sequels existed. In a sense, the sequels of this series are also like the least famous iterations of this story that exist, right? Because it's already a remake of The Seven Samurai.
Right.
There's the original movie, which is then remade, pastiched, and parodied endlessly.
That was my other note.
Film culture, yeah.
That the basic story felt retreaded more than just by its own predecessor and the Magnificent Seven.
Yeah.
This feels like a kind of Western trope. The Seven,
that
not
started
necessarily
as an Eastern
seven.
trope.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's interesting because you've got the Three Amigos.
Oh my God! How many times did I think during a couple of these movies where I was like, "Oh, they watched this to do the Three Amigos."
But how many times do you think of the Three Amigos versus how many times do you think of Blazing Saddles? Is the question, especially towards the end.
Right.
There's possibly the inspiration for Mongo in the last of these movies. I might go as far as saying that. Yeah, and then A Bug's Life as well. And it also like it's a TV trope too. I mean, it was remade as a TV series.
Yeah.
And
a couple of times. Right?
Well, at least once. Yeah.
Because wasn't there a TV show in the 60s or 70s around there?
But I
was
I didn't see that.
Oh. Maybe Possibly. I'm remembering it wrong. But I remember the Michael Biehn Magnificent
Yes,
Seven.
exactly.
Yeah.
I remember that was on TV when I was a kid. So it's a property that's always been around. And then TV shows would just do these kind of pastiche episodes. Like, there was one in The Mandalorian in the first season, I think, which was basically the Magnificent Seven / the Seven Samurai. Your favorite of my references, Deep Space Nine, had an episode called The Magnificent Ferengi, which was essentially, the Magnificent Seven story.
Yeah.
So it's interesting, but yeah, you ask most people, they wouldn't know that these sequels existed.
Yeah. By the time you get to the Magnificent Seven Ride, that movie is like every single episode of the A-Team.
Well, I even think it starts earlier than that. I think, weirdly, what George Kennedy has done, I think accidentally, is created the template for Hannibal. His version of Chris is basically Hannibal.
True.
Which makes total sense, because George Papard is also a character actor in a leading, in a team leader role. So it's going to come out very Hannibal, I think.
Yeah. Hannibal A-Team, everyone. We don't mean Hannibal Lecter.
I assume the fact that you were just talking, yes. We're not saying that those are the
for
same.
Everyone else, I'm just saying.
But but
he's got the cigar, which is like something that's kept, I think, throughout all three actors. But it feels very Hannibal.
No, Van Cleef is pipe.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
He replaces it with a pipe, but then you see him smoking a pipe in other Western movies, and I think he was probably just like, "No, I smoke a pipe."
He's like Ricky Henderson, where he refers to himself in the third person. Van Cleef smokes a pipe.
And he wears a hairpiece.
Yeah.
Which is weird, because presumably he's wearing a hairpiece to cover his baldness, but he's playing a character who's famously bald when he begins this franchise. And I'm like, what's the logic here? Is he just starts wearing a hairpiece after a while? He suddenly becomes self-conscious about his baldness and wears a hairpiece. And then in the middle of it, and well, I mean, we'll have all these conversations, but to me, I think there's a continuity. There's a possible continuity between the first and the last of these sequels, but the problem is the middle one in terms of continuity. Because unless you can headcanon that the middle one is a prequel / reboot, there's no way in which there's no way in which your Brynner becomes Lee Van Cleef by means of George Kennedy.
Right.
There's no timeline in which that is possible.
Well, and all that was
he gets a hold of some Rogaine. He regrows his hair for a brief period. Then it doesn't. The plugs fall out.
Becomes
and then he
quite
wears a
hulking and white. But that was just a reaction to George Kennedy's popularity because of Cool Hand Luke. That's why they cast him.
And the other interesting thing is, it's part of the product, part of, the brand is the kind of plethora of character actors you can slot into to the story, to the storytelling. And none of the movies really let you down on that. I mean, you can argue about whether certain performances or characterizations work as well as they do in the original or in some of these sequels versus others. But you can't. I mean, there's never feels like this kind of drop off in the quality of the cast, which is sort of feel like that's the first thing that would go in the sequels, and actually they keep the standard pretty high.
Yeah.
Right to the end of these sequels, and that's kind of a testament, I think, to the embarrassment of riches of character acting in that period of Hollywood cinema. I mean, it's just ridiculous who you can throw in, and who's available, who will do these smaller thankless roles just to be in a movie, because it's kind of. They're kind of like, if they were made later, they'd be video sequels.
Yeah, right.
And you get, you would get the video sequel version of Steve McQueen. Well, we do get the video sequel version of Steve McQueen. But that's kind of the exception to the rule, because, the movie also features Warren Oates.
Yeah, right.
Doing some of the best acting of his life.
So amazing.
And I'm gonna hold off and I'll at some point I'll hand the reins over to you to talk about how good Sheriff Lobo is in that movie.
We gotta set aside an hour for my praise.
That was the period. Because someone asked me recently about this podcast, do you watch the movies together? And I thought, what a nightmarish scenario that would be. But
I'd be like, stop pausing, and you'd say, I have to take a note.
Well, it took us 5 hours to watch that 90-minute movie. I gotta go to bed. But I feel like while I'm watching these, now I've been doing this for 6 years. When we're watching the movies, I do feel like I form a psychic connection with you at certain points.
I do the same. Yeah.
The moment Sheriff Lobo appeared on screen, I was like, I know Mike was lukewarm about the prospect of doing these movies. I think I've just found the moment where I got him on board.
Yeah.
For this project.
It's a weird thing.
He's gonna see the name at the beginning of the Return of the Seven and go, maybe it might not be so bad.
Yeah. It's a weird thing with me and Westerns because I count myself as a Western lover.
Yeah, me too.
But I'm like wary of Westerns in the sense of, like, I like to rewatch the ones.
Wary of Westerns.
I like to watch the ones that I know are good. And if I'm unsure about the quality, I find myself not wanting to watch it. It's a weird thing where I don't want to give them a chance.
I don't think it's a weird thing. I think it explains the decline in popularity of the Western in our lifetime.
Maybe. But, and you know, these movies are not well regarded.
No.
But I'm glad I saw them.
Me too.
And there's this part of me that, you know, realizes that, you know, you can the value I found in them was kind of to what you were just speaking about, because the number of actors that I knew in these movies, even when you get to the third one, and the third one, it's like, what's this guy's name? Skiing or Sicking or
Sicking, Howard Hunter.
So
playing Howard Hunter.
Yeah. And I'm just
Howard Hunter is a criminal is what he's playing. It's great.
I'm like, I know that guy from up the creek, and all these little connections I can make.
Star Trek. We've seen him in Star Trek 3. He's the captain of the what's the name of that ship?
Whatever the ship that won't catch them out of the port.
The Intrepid? No, something like that.
I'm surprised you don't know.
I know. I'm ashamed. My favorite sequence in the movie too, the escape from space dock.
It's great.
Yeah.
But like, what a treat and a thrill to like be able to watch that. And like you said, like, you know, I know Claude Atkins from Sheriff Lobo, and he was sort of this, if I'm remembering it right, genial sheriff, just kind of generally well-liked person. And then I watch him in this, and I'm like, what a fucking actor. Holy shit.
There's a moment of acting in the movie, which we'll talk about when we talk about the movie. I'll save it. But there's a particular moment where I was like, this guy's really good. This is one of those actors who does what all great character actors do, which is to elevate what's on paper.
Yeah.
Not in a showy way, but in a nuanced, tiny way that takes like a cliche and a trope and just turns it into something that feels very human. And that's what all great character actors do. I think he's got a great one in that.
Wish I could see some of that in the Odyssey.
Oh, you've seen it, huh?
Yeah, I saw it the other day. Finally.
Okay. Well, we probably can't get into that conversation, even though spoilers aren't the issue because I will never see it. But I've it's interesting because it's like there are while I'm happy to ignore the majority of new movies that come out, there are there are certain movies that I will never see on principle, like The Odyssey, because Christopher Nolan is a snake oil salesman. And
never more present than this film.
Right, I know. Well, I know. He's kind of... I would say, if the movie starts with a Trojan horse, he's kind of telling you that he's a lot... You know, he's kind of telling you that he's a con man, and I think at this point it's the audience's fault, not his.
I mean, that's an oversimplification. He is a talented director.
No more so than, I don't know,
George Lucas.
Oh, God, no. How dare you speak about... I just watched American Graffiti the other day. That man has touches of genius.
Not anymore.
He's not making movies now. He's making museums. He's standing in glass boxes in Hollywood museums in Minions movies.
I'm so thankful for our Dark Knight series and the conversation. I forget if it was during the ranking episode.
It's funny.
When we started talking about The Dark Knight Rises, and I'm like, Tom, I'm not sure this is a good movie. And you're like, me either.
I literally, you know what? We don't have time for any of this, but
I know.
Some time back, I was working with a group of people, and the subject of Christopher Nolan comes up, and everyone starts
praising,
gushing and awing.
Yeah.
And I literally, this is what I literally did. I went, and they were like, well, not all of his movies are of the same quality. And at this is the time I choose to pipe up, and I went, The Dark Knight Rises. I did a thumbs down and a raspberry, and they looked at me like I just got my cock out. It was like, and I was like, to me, that's a perfectly reasonable statement. That's like, that's me being generous, if anything. But it's funny because, like I say, well, I'm happy to ignore the majority of movies. There are some I won't see out of principle, but I want to find out everything about secondhand. And the Odyssey's been one of them. I've been compiling like an oral history of the Odyssey. The only missing piece is I've never seen the movie. But I know absolutely everything about the production, release, and reception of that movie.
Oh my
and
God.
It's really interesting. Like any long con, any time that you've been scammed as a person, I feel like if the difference between
the trick is to not know that you've been scammed.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. And the way that it usually comes out that you're being scammed is you have an innocent conversation with someone, and they're like, I don't think that's real. Someone says back to you, I don't think that's real. And anytime anyone I've noticed has a conversation about the Odyssey, it was a little bit like Superman last year was the same similar thing. Was that called Superman? That was just called Superman, right?
I think so.
Was the last Superman just called Superman? I can't remember. It all breaks down immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, I loved it. Oh, it was so good. Oh, this part. I mean, that didn't work. But, and it's like, yeah, and it could have been funnier.
That's the part.
It lost some of the flair and the humor. And by the end of the conversation, they're like, wow, that was a waste of time. Why did we go and see that? And then at the end of the conversation, someone says, and I didn't even watch it in IMAX, so I missed a quarter of I couldn't see a quarter of the movie. Anyway.
Well, I take issue with with the mode, what you choose to do. I think going to see the movie is like voting. I think voting gives you the right to complain. I think you should go see the movie and then complain, sir.
Yeah, but I know I'm not going to like the movie. In fact, I'm pretty sure, based on what I've heard, that I will actively dislike the movie.
Yeah, but then you can just sit in judgment, arms folded,
as everybody's
really enjoying it.
Do you think I need to see it to sit in judgment?
Well, no, clearly. I'm talking about principles.
But then he wins. Remember, if I do that, he wins. He's got your money.
Yeah.
He's con man. Remember,
$20.
you're giving if you're giving him your money, then he's won. He gets to go on and con someone else. But anyway,
I digress.
Yes.
Was ranking hard for you?
Thank you. That's all I needed. Was ranking hard for me? No, I don't think so.
Me either.
I think.
What about Good Bad?
Good Bad was a bit more interesting, but not much more.
Yeah, I'm right in the same place.
I've been this time around with Good Bad. I've been much more strict on fidelity to the advertised product. I think.
You mean original commercials for the Return of the Seven?
Yes, I mean, how much of these movies like the trailers for their movies? No. I mean, because they are so different in so many different ways, but all, as you said, with the goal of trying to recreate the original concept. I've been a lot more harder if they fail to do that in a convincing way than I would be necessary. Like I'm embracing difference a lot less than I usually am, because I feel like they had a brief and maybe one or two of these movies aren't sticking to that brief as well as they should.
Mm.
But
It's been a long time since I've seen the original, so and I don't remember it well.
Well,
so I was not burdened by that.
Well, let's do it for Patreon then, because contrary to that, the original is probably one of the films I've seen most in my life.
Oh wow!
It was my granddad's favorite film, so we watched it a lot together. It's up there with The Fugitive for me as a comfort watch.
Oh wow! Okay.
So
that is saying something. Fucking hell!
Oh yeah.
Wow.
I mean, literally, you know, sometimes I go into a restaurant and, like Charles Bronson, I'll just go, chicken enchiladas, carne asada, Spanish rice, looks pretty good. That's a deep cut from that movie. But that's what's going on in my mind when I walk into a Mexican restaurant.
Tom's brain inside a Mexican restaurant.
Yeah. I like how he
Looks
specifies Spanish rice. I'm like, yeah. Okay. I mean, we are in Mexico, so. No, let's do that for Patreon this month then.
Okay.
Because, holy moly, you're in for. If you somewhat enjoyed these movies, my God, you're gonna have a great time.
All I remember is it being very good.
Yeah, and it's kind of. I watched the making of on it recently, and it's even better than even better than you remember it is. That's what makes it a great comfort watch. I think it's always slightly better than you think it's gonna be when you rewatch it for the 67th time.
Mm-hmm.
And it might also explain. We can talk more about this when we do the original, but it might also explain why Yul Brynner stuck around for the sequel, because he bought the rights.
Oh, I didn't know
for
that.
The Seven Samurai, yeah. The story is I don't think it's a story, I think it's true. He saw the American release of Seven Samurai. He got like a preview of it, watched it, and then he spent the rest of the evening on the phone to Japan to secure the rights.
For the first movie?
To do the remake.
Oh wow.
So I think he's more attached to this project than, say, Charlton Heston was for Planet of the Apes. Probably why he sticks around for one sequel. And then, you know, normal sequel service resumes, and we recast everyone. But then again, that weird attachment to having the same character, when
the one character
logic dictates that they should not be this character.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
He could be a Chris, not the Chris. How great would if that dialogue entered the... Are you the Chris that did the thing at the place? No, that was a different Chris. My name's George.
Could be a Jurassic Park 3 situation where it's like,
no,
wrong island. I've never been to this island. You took me to the wrong island. It was Jeff You're thinking of Jeff Goldblum. You're not.
Never been here. Blow a sweet song into that skull. Everything will be all right.
Mm-hmm.
R.I.P. By the way, Sam Neill.
I know.
Miss you.
Yeah.
You seen Dead Calm?
Much. Dead what?
Dead Calm?
No.
Ooh. It's early Nicole Kidman, and Billy Zane.
Wow.
Good horror movie.
I hear good things also about In the Mouth of Madness.
I feel like I watched that, but I don't remember it. John Carpenter, right?
I don't feel like people talked enough about him being grown-up Damien when his obituary came out. I was like, I think you're burying the lead here with these dinosaurs. Surely it's devil beats the dinosaurs, doesn't it? At least in my mind. Although the devil and the dinosaurs is a tantalizing. The devil. It's kind of a creationist-funded film where it's like the devil and the dinosaurs are working together against
The devils
humans.
and the dinosaurs is great. No, surely you mean in the details. Nope, I mean in the dinosaurs.
I mean in the No, I mean that. Well, that's a line from the movie. Surely, you mean the details? No, I mean the dinosaurs. By the way, we were talking off mic about Strange New Worlds. First episode of that season, dinosaurs. Because nothing is sacred anymore.
You have anything left before we get started here?
No, we've really
Have we babbled enough?
We've definitely rounded the houses, as they say.
Circled the wagons.
Well, that's a better analogy for this series. Yes.
All right. You want to go first? You want me to go first?
I kind of want you to go first this time. I don't know why. I'm interested in knowing what you feel about these individual movies.
I thought I went
think
back
you probably know I'm going to take it pretty easy on them. I know, right?
I went back and forth in the terms of whether or not I thought we'd have the same list.
Mm-hmm.
I love to differ from you.
You love to think that you love to think I'm wrong.
Well, yes, of course, but
but sometimes you have to concede that I'm right, and it kills you.
Yeah, that part I don't like. But so what was interesting was I was trying to think of what you would value. And I was like, surely it can't be different than what I value, but it may.
No, probably not for these movies. Probably not.
Who knows? But for me, I don't think it was even. If it was close, it wasn't very close. It wasn't. Okay. It wasn't hard for me to come up with the 7 because although. You know, it's funny. It's interesting because you could come at these movies in 3 different ways because you have 3 different Chris's and you could say, what Chris do you appreciate the most and just leave it at that.
Hashtag that's not my Chris. Yeah.
Yeah. But for me, the thing that set my top movie apart was everybody in it.
Mm.
And not just the actors in it, but the writing as well because the character arcs that they gave pretty much everybody in the movie, including the bad guy, which gave me Matrix vibes.
Okay.
So for me, the movie that I responded to the most without a second's hesitation was Return of the Seven.
Okay. Yeah, this speaking this ranking might be formulaic. Never mind the movies. Yeah, I for exactly the reasons you said, that's the top of my list. And
okay,
and it wasn't, and again, it wasn't even close. Yeah, I mean, it seemed like the most legitimate reworking of the concept of these 3 movies.
Mm-hmm.
I was struck by how well acted it was, how well directed it was, how well written it was.
I have a caveat to that, though. It's well directed, but I think other movies in this series, the action is a little disjointed in this movie, I think. But other than that,
okay, interesting. Well, I might push back a little bit on that, but I think it, you know, it does have. But I wouldn't push back on the idea that in each of those areas there are still deficiencies, like that that you can draw attention to, but nothing that really, certainly nothing that would stop it from being top of the leader of the pack. And yeah, I think that. And that it's all, when you see the original, you'll see that everything is there, but they dig in a little bit deeper on psychology. A bit more, they're a bit freer, I think, politically to criticize Mexico in a way that they weren't with the original. In the original, they got a lot of money from Mexico to make it look like look like the best possible place. They seem free from that in this movie. It's like it seems like a dysfunctional state. So I like all those. I like all those kind of deep dives into characterization, into politics, and yeah, I think it. And each of these movies, what makes it harder to rank and declare good or bad, I think, each of these movies really represents the time in which it was made, which isn't a long period of time, from soup to nuts. But if you think about the changes that America goes through from 66 to what, 72?
69, and then 72 I think is the last one.
Yeah, and that's huge, and you see all of those changes, like. You see, that there's a countercultural feel about this one. Then Guns is I would say a classic 1970s, early 70s nihilistic movie. And then by the time you get to Magnificent Seven Ride, it feels like the Nixonian backlash.
I was gonna say, yeah.
To, the conservative response to the counterculture. And those are that's really interesting in and of itself, but you've also got to contend with making a Magnificent Seven sequel and making an overall wholesome, not wholesome in a moral sense, but like wholesome, coherent movie. And this is to me the best balance of all of that.
Yeah,
is this one movie.
I mean, honestly, I was surprised at the depth in this movie more than anything.
Yeah, and I think there's the other aspect of it is is what's going on in film history. The Magnificent Seven was kind of a lot of people have looked back at it and sort of seen it as a prototype of a spaghetti western. And by the time you get to 66, you're actually in the period where spaghetti westerns are being made. It has a lot of the same characteristics of that. It's also filmed in Spain.
Yeah.
So some of that slightly darker tinge, that slightly more angsty feel that you get from the spaghetti westerns is definitely there. And I think they pull it off. They sort of show how the Magnificent Seven led to this. And they're kind of they're feeding back that influence in a way that's still recognizably a Magnificent Seven movie.
Okay. Well, what's your second movie on the list? I guess by default you're announcing second and third, but
second and third at the same time. I said it kind of wasn't close, but I guess of the two remaining movies, I'm probably just I think the filmmaking in one is better than the other. To me, that's abundantly clear. So that's an easy choice, but it's also a kind of a political preference. I think that what one is saying about the world and what the other one is saying, and if you give me a choice between ultra conservative and and bleak nihilism, I'm always going to go to bleak nihilism. So Guns of the Magnificent Seven is my second on the list, and I think that's a kind of to me that's a no-brainer, because artistically and politically, I think it's the better film. The reason it doesn't come anywhere near Return of the Magnificent Seven is that I feel like it's the odd man out in this series, and this series doesn't know how to kind of account for it in the run of this. Like if you went from Return to Ride, there's a flow to that that makes way more sense than having this in the middle.
Gotcha. Yeah, right.
And maybe it's just a case of, if if we did it now, we'd do it as a reboot, we'd do it as a prequel, and they just didn't have that sequel languaging at that point, so they felt kind of unable to do that, even though that's kind of essentially what they were doing in all but name.
Yeah.
And so that's what holds it back from, I think, being the top of the series. But I think it has a lot of interesting things to say.
Mm-hmm.
About law and order, about race, about society.
One of the most interesting stories in that movie is the love story between Bernie Casey and Joe Don Baker.
Both unofficial Felix Leiters.
Yeah, that's right.
You got the Never Say Never Again Felix Leiter and Wade from the Pierce Brosnan Bond films.
Yeah.
And weirdly, Joe Don Baker has the literary Felix Leiter's disability. Anyway, that's been your Bond minute. But also it's interesting again, like that dichotomy when you watch sequels when you watch a formative sequel series. You're like, I see the building blocks of franchises, but not always the good. It's not always the good stuff you see. Sometimes it's like some of the bad habits that sequels have that we've identified.
Mm-hmm.
I'm of course talking about introducing children where children do not need to be. It's like, really, this early on we did a Terminator 2. Fascinating. We Ghostbusters Afterlife this shit. So, that does have, I think it does have sequel shortcomings.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why I was saying I'm going to be a bit stricter. But I responded to it for the movie it was.
Yeah.
And I feel like if it had been even more autonomous as a movie, like it was just if it had no link to the Magnificent Seven, I think it would have been a better movie.
That was my thought, was that it's so interesting to watch George Kennedy as Chris, because he's great.
He really does something with that role, like he does with every role he plays.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just not anything close to what we've seen or what makes sense for that character.
Right.
I mean, not just because he has hair, but that's part of it. It's hard to overlook that he has hair. But balding enough for it to be a prequel.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, so our rankings are exactly the same. Yeah.
And it's a bit of a cheat. I don't like to play the political card unless I have to, but I feel like the
But that's what happened to me too.
Yeah.
It was funny when you said that, because the political thing really got me in the third one. In a way where
whoever wrote that movie should be on a list somewhere. I hope they were being watched by J. Edgar Hoover, because fuck, that person is dangerous. That person thinks in a very dangerous way.
Right. By the time we get...
Hey, you're a sheriff. You can't just kill them both.
Yeah, exactly.
What?
We'll lose the trail. It's like, still don't think it was... I still don't think they deserve to die.
It's like a straight line from this to Death Wish, isn't it?
Yeah. So when we get to a Chris who's murdering people, even if that person is Gary Busey,
even less reason to murder
him. I just can't get on board. And then you add the political aspect of taking people who want to kill you, hardened criminals, to be and kind of blackmailing them into doing this deed for you.
Well, we've not even started to talk about the treatment of women in that movie, which is where it gets kind of...
Talk about Superman 2 rape kiss. Oh.
Well, it almost gets into... I don't know, it feels like... Did Jim Jones watch this, and this was how he decided to form his little society?
I love it in movies when main characters treat the death of a character as though they've known that character as long as the audience has.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Which, I mean, is almost burying the lead in to say the real problem with it is the screenplay is a complete mess.
Yeah. So you
don't even need the political angle to dislike the movie. You can dislike the movie because you like good screenwriting.
Well, my one of my biggest bugaboos about that movie, in the light of especially Return of the Seven, what's the second one called?
Guns of the Magnificent Seven.
Guns of the Magnificent Seven. For Guns, like the amount of work done in the first one, the first sequel with the baddie and his character development, and there's less character development for Guns, but you still have a recognizable foe that you understand. Like, you understand the choices he's making.
Too.
So, in the George Kennedy and the Guns sequel,
because you've got the bandit who could go either way. As well.
That's
in the
true.
Middle of it. So it's doubly interesting, I think.
I made a note for that third movie. We don't even meet this bad guy until 16 minutes before the movie ends.
But it's okay because he has a scar, so you know exactly what he's
about. So he's terrible.
Yeah.
So that was lazy in a way that I couldn't...
But the plot doesn't even start until halfway through the movie.
Yeah, right.
And the movie doesn't decide what kind of a movie it's going to be until that point.
Yeah. So there's that. So second one, far and away better than the third one.
Yeah, I agree.
All right. Well, I'm glad my initial thought was correct. Was that there's no way we could have different rankings.
But my only caveat to that would be to say I think Magnificent Seven Ride works better as a sequel.
Mm-hmm.
Because the kind of a sequel it is, the idea of the aging gunfighter who's been domesticated but then has to return back to the fray, is definitely more a legitimate sequel than what they did in Guns. But it counts for nothing because it's so badly botched throughout.
Yeah. And
Lee Van Cleef, I think, is a more legitimate surrogate for
Brynner. Absolutely.
Because that's the other bit, the crazy bit of recasting with George Kennedy is you've gone film star to character actor.
Mm-hmm.
And Lee Van Cleef he was a character actor, but by this point he's kind of emerged as a leading man.
Yeah.
So he started off as the heavy, and now he's and he's more recognizably Western too. It's interesting that you said that Cool Hand Luke was the difference, and it's like, if anything, that makes you less suitable to play Chris. Mm-hmm. If you're basing it on the character he played in Cool Hand Luke.
Well, but you're not. You're just trading in on his, I think, nomination, or did he win for Cool Hand Luke?
I think he won.
Yeah.
I remember reading that he won.
So.
And again, George Kennedy coming in a sequel where someone else has played the role before.
Mm-hmm. Well, all right then. It sounds to me like we both might admit that two of these movies are good.
Yeah.
And one we're not sure about. Is that right?
It's just like this has been a lesson in cold reading.
Because I definitely think
this is like Darren Criss shit that you're doing right now. Yeah, exactly. Return is obviously good. Not obviously good. Clearly, critics did not feel that way. But
I think that's crazy, though.
But
what movie were they watching? What the fuck?
They should. Well, that's it. Like, if the same critics were to review it in 2026, I think it would be a no-brainer that they would give it a half-decent review. But whatever. There's no way for them to know how badly things would go. Right? In cinema? There's no way. There's a 1960s critic would be like, You know, I'm basic.
We could do better than this.
My standard is, you know, The Sweet Smell of Success.
Yeah,
or
right.
In a Lonely Place.
Yeah. This
doesn't cut the mustard. I was like, okay, I get that. So yeah, but and then I go back and forth on Guns. Because it has some sweaty, clunky stuff in it.
I think it's good enough to be good, though.
I think it is good enough to be good, sadly. I wanted to put up more of a fight, but I think it justifies itself as a movie.
Mm-hmm.
As a standalone movie.
As a standalone, right. Yeah.
Doesn't justify itself as a sequel, so I guess you can't really let that interfere with good or bad. But there are aspects of the movie that I would definitely lose.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's also an issue of tone, like when because apparently when 1970 hit, everyone just decided it's okay that even the most mainstream Hollywood product can be the bleakest thing you've ever seen.
Right. They
all decided unanimously. Hollywood was like, we're gonna make depressing movies for about 5 years. The only problem is, I have no problem with that direction at all. I think it makes total sense for where the country's at.
Yeah, right.
Like it as long as it's done well, and it is.
We lost our innocence, so we're bummed.
Nothing matters.
Yeah.
So here's the entertainment we'll give you. But the problem is they're still using the music. I think they needed to reboot the music because when you like some of the images of torture and imprisonment and starvation in this movie, you know, do not befit. I get it. Like, how can you do a Magnificent Seven movie without the music? That? The reboot will try to make that argument unsuccessfully. But, you know, at this point, I get it. Like, I get it. It's your brand. It's what everyone has to hear to know.
Yeah, I can't wait to get to my first note for Guns.
Darren, I'm going to Darren Criss it again and guarantee you we have the same first note.
Okay.
Because it is...
I was like, wait, what?
It's the definition of audiovisual irony right here. Yeah, just so... It's pulling in a different direction tonally than the series originally was. Yeah. And not that is necessarily a bad thing or a bad thing in a sequel. We praised sequels before for doing that.
Sure.
But I think if you don't... I don't get a sense that they've got a sense of how far they've gone in the other direction.
Mm-hmm.
I think 1970 has just clouded their judgment about... They've lost all sense of proportion about what bleak is. Mm-hmm. They're like, this is not that bleak, is it? I'm like, yeah, all these scenes of people starving in underground prisons and being,
their heads trampled by horses.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. It doesn't really get much worse than that. I mean, you know, there'll be that movie, The Human Centipede, in about 40 years' time, and it's about as bleak as that.
All right, so I guess the question remains, is there any part of you that wants to call Ride
no
a good movie? There's an exclamation point on the end of that title.
So you gotta jab it. Oh no, absolutely not. I mean, I think I it's like after I watched it, I was like, that's like a really bad 2-part episode of a 1970s TV series. You know, where they brought in a guest, they brought in like a guy to write the episode who, you know, was later reported in the newspapers turned the gun on him before turning the gun on himself, is how his obituary ended. No, I think I politically it's bankrupt. Artistically it's pretty bankrupt, and I think, like, I see the director trying to do some interesting visual things, but there's nothing behind it in the same way there is with the other movies. There's no to me, there's no kind of solid basis of filmmaking behind it in the same way there are with the first two movies. There's lots of kind of, there's like a few different, like some flashy things that they try and do, but they feel very empty as well. So I think all around it's a bad movie.
Okay.
There's not much to redeem it. I mean, some of the, you know, obviously you like the actors, but they're playing such unlikable characters who are so badly written that, and it's confusing. It's really because of, and that's not partly not its fault. It's partly Gunn's fault, but it's confusing to try and figure out what the movie's about and who relates to who and whether they're talking about anything that happens in any of the other movies or these are just entirely new incidents that we've never seen before. Especially
between the prisoners and Chris, you're like, am I meant to know these people?
And if you wanted to do the Dirty Dozen, you know, start your movie that way. The Dirty Dozen doesn't wait halfway through to introduce the prisoners, I don't think, right? I've not seen it in a long time, but it's not halfway into the movie that we go into the prison, right?
Even fucking Suicide Squad is like, here's our band of fucking terrible people that we want to save the world with.
I was going to say, Inglourious Basterds doesn't do that, but probably the way that time works in that movie probably is about halfway through the movie before we meet the actual bastards.
No, we got a scene at the beginning, right? He's got...
That scene goes on for about 40 minutes. That scene goes on for about 40 minutes, though. Doesn't it?
I don't think so. I think you're remembering it slightly wrong.
I remember watching it and going, that's about twice as long as the opening of Once Upon a Time in the West, which I remember being pretty long.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat with you. You know, it also didn't do the one thing I think it should have done, which is make these terrible people like kind of make you believe in them in a way where they really come together in a way that you forgive the transgressions, and it just doesn't do enough to do that. They just die, all of them but one die.
The opposite, I think you like them less after they stop being convicts. Which I think is a big fail.
Yeah. Well, go ahead and pick another round of women till they're all gone.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's also, I think we also have to consider, we have the benefit of hindsight that there are a lot better versions of this story that have been made, both before and since,
and after.
So Man Who Shot Liberty Valance and Unforgiven have a lot of the same elements as this story, and if you can't compare what they do with this idea of having your biographer involved in covering your gunfights. Yeah. Like, what they do with that in Unforgiven makes so much more sense than what they do in this movie with it.
Sure.
It might have been one of the first times we've ever had that, although I think The Shootist, which came about around about the same time, is similar. Like, I want to say Ron Howard as like a writer who's following John Wayne around.
Oh, I don't know.
I think so. I think he's like they might just have stolen that.
Yeah.
Right. And even if they are doing it for the first time, they don't do it well. It's a great idea, and I guess it's they're stealing from Liberty Valance is what they're stealing from, because they even have the line about Western myth and legend being different from the reality of it. Like, well, you're 10 years too late to make that point, but go ahead. I guess you can keep, like Unforgiven can say it in a different way, and it still works, but.
Yeah,
you have to make it work. Like, you can't. That's not like John Ford understood. John Ford and Clint Eastwood understood. It's like you still have to make a good. Like, even if you have a very intelligent version of Western history, you have to back that up with a Western that people still want to see. And
letters and such.
Well, but you look at Unforgiven and you go beat for beat. It's one of the most exciting Westerns you've ever seen. in terms of what happens in it, but it's also very reflective and intelligent and revisionist and all those things. Man Who Shot Liberty Valance is the same. If you can buy Jimmy Stewart, 50-year-old Jimmy Stewart as a 20-year-old kid, then you're in.
Then you have no problems.
You have no problems. You just have to. Speaking of hairpieces, the John Wayne hairpiece in that movie is pretty spectacular. It's no McHugh, but it's getting there.
All right. Anything left before we?
No, I'm ready. I'm
push on.
Ready to return.
Excellent. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you're going to have to tell us what you think of our rankings and what your rankings are. You know what to do. Do it on all the things. I'd prefer you didn't do it on X, but I suppose you could. Use the fascist site. Go.
I feel like you might want to qualify that statement in either at the beginning or the end.
You could go to Fascist Junior, Facebook, Instagram. You could go to Blueski, Threads. Yeah, all of those are kind of Fascist Juniors.
Oh, yeah.
Aaron Sorkin's going to explain it all to us in a new movie.
Is he really?
Yeah, there's like a sequel that he's written and directed. The Social... what? Reckoning?
I don't like that it's him doing it. I feel like he's just jealous of those people.
What?
And I don't think that's a good position.
Of Zuckerberg?
Yeah. Zuckerberg and... yeah.
That's funny.
I don't think he understands what's wrong with him. Anyway. Maybe enough for Hollywood.
Tom's ever-growing enemies list is getting bigger.
Yeah. Not a fan of Aaron Sorkin.
I like Sorkin.
You've rewatched The West Wing, right?
Sure.
Okay.
First 4 seasons are great.
Are they?
Yeah.
Okay. I can't. Whenever I watch, you can't go down this rabbit hole, but not that I'm saying he's a Christopher Nolan like snake oil salesman, but some of his writing does have a bit of, well, what was the point of that scene, or what do these two characters think? I get that they're saying funny stuff and walking fast, but what's this scene actually about? But again, culture disagrees with me.
Yeah.
So.
As always.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we'll see. Molly's Game. He directed Molly's Game. I like that movie.
Never even heard of that. I would assume it was a biopic about Molly Ringwald going into the gaming industry.
Oh, you're not too far off. It's about the poker princess.
Oh.
Based on a true story about, I forget her real name, but started a poker game in L.A., then took it to New York.
I also don't trust screenwriters who do that many stories about real people, because I feel like they just don't have the ideas to sustain their work. David O. Russell's another one. I'm like, come on. Come up with an idea now and again.
Come up with something fake.
Yeah.
Or send an email to everythingsequel@gmail.com. That's it. When you hear us next, we'll be talking about the return of the Magnificent Seven. Stay tuned. That's next week. All right. For Tom Stewart of Lonesome Whistle Productions, Michael Shantz here. I'm from the How Dare You Awards. Like I said, next week, we're coming back with the first sequel to the Magnificent Seven. Say goodbye to everybody, Tom.
7 is my lucky number. We're gonna have that discussion. Why is it always 7?
Well, he just told you.
Yeah, but that's what they decide to justify it a fourth time. That's not the same as it being the reason why.
It's like that Soderbergh Ocean's 11. 10's enough, don't you think? 10's good? Do we need one more? You think we need one more? All right, we'll get one more. That's why it's Ocean's 11. And then they add one, you see, each time.
Well, there's but in each of we'll talk about it, but for each of these movies, they have a different bullshit reason why it's 7.
And there's always one guy who's like not really part of the group, but is tagging along.
Yeah. The next one I think is actually, we like the next movie the most, but I think it might have the most bullshit explanation as to why it's the 7th.
All right, look forward to that. Thanks for listening, everyone.
Oh, you're hearing great music right now. And you're Did you know that the Everything Sequel podcast has a sequel? It's our Patreon, and for a low monthly donation, you can get up to 2 exclusive, full-length, ad-free bonus episodes. $5 a month gets you an episode discussing all the original movies from the series we've covered on the podcast. And that's a lot of snakeheads. But $10 a month scores you the reboot to boot. Support Everything Sequel on Patreon and reap the benefits of amazing brand new content you quite literally can't get anywhere else. Got more money than sense? We also offer one-time payments that will get you in the driver's seat of the podcast. Maybe even the passenger seat. That metaphor doesn't work, but our show does. So join the Patreon and believe the hype. It's a sequel.